Hello, everybody. Welcome to Funk's podcast, and this is the first episode of the podcast I am going to be starting. And I am very excited to start this big project. I will hopefully be uploading a podcast once a week if I can. It's just going to be a way for me to talk about whatever's on my mind. It could be anything. It could be politics. It could be Minecraft. It could be a book I'm reading. It could literally be anything. And I'm going to try and keep it under 10 minutes just to be short. But I think it is going to be very interesting just so that I can talk about whatever's on my mind. I'm probably not going to be very good at first, but hopefully I'll get better. I hope I have some interesting things to say. So, yeah, let's get into the first episode of the podcast. And what I wanted to talk about today is just why I decided to do this podcast and why I think I'm worth listening to. Let's start with the first one. So, first of all, I decided to do this podcast for a number of reasons. Number one, because I think podcasts are really cool. But the main reason being that I don't know, I just felt like people don't really know how to listen to each other anymore, if that makes sense at all. I don't know if that does, but it does to me. I feel like critical thinking is not really a skill that most people have, and I hope that in doing this podcast that I can kind of demonstrate how I think healthy thinking should be done while also examining my own thinking. And there's a word for that. It's called metacognition, which basically means that you're examining your own thought process, and the process for how things done is very important. So it's surprising that most people don't think about what they think. So yeah, I think that's important. Because, I mean, a lot of people nowadays just, they don't really realize that there is a process for thinking about things. You need to, if you ask a question, for example, you need to know how you're going to answer the question. Because a lot of people ask hypothetical, open-ended questions, but a lot of their hypothetical questions are very important. And if you actually want to seriously answer them, then you need to know what information you need for them to be answered. It could be, for example, if you want to know how to do something, well, then you need to create a list of what you want to learn, and then you need to go do it, right? You can't just say, I want to learn how to play the piano, because that'll never happen, because you don't know what you need to do to play the piano, you know? I don't know, it's an interesting thing. You need parameters for when you know you will have solved a problem. And in order to do that, you need to understand how you think, so you can understand when you have gotten to that level of understanding about something. And yeah, so the second reason is because I think about things a lot, and I think about a huge number of things. I think about things I hear, I think about things I see, I think about things I don't see or hear, and that's just the beginning. I think about politics and of music and video games and stories, and I think about thinking as well. And I do believe that many of these things are important things to think about, and I've said that a million times already, and we're not even 4 minutes in, but I've said that so much because I believe it's true, and I think truth is one of the most important things there is. So I think about things a lot, but that doesn't mean I'm correct. And I think it's important to point that out. I could be wrong about anything, and so can you. I really don't like it when people structure their claim around the fact that they are correct, because if you structure your claim around the fact that you are correct, then if you are proven wrong, and you could totally be proven wrong, because people are wrong all the time. Like, the fact that if you get into a debate and someone says, oh, well, there's no right answer. I mean, there are questions with no right answer, but a lot of questions do have a correct answer. 2 plus 2 is always 4. So someone who says that 2 plus 2 is 3, that's just a lie. That doesn't mean they're lying to you, but that means they're telling you a lie. Because there's a difference between being incorrect and knowing you're incorrect. Because most people who are incorrect don't know they're incorrect. And that's my point, is that I could be incorrect about any number of things. And I hope that if I realize I'm incorrect about something, I can go back and correct it and reevaluate my own beliefs on that topic. And that's a good skill that I really don't see a whole lot. When I'm debating people, I always listen to their point of view because I would rather be correct than win the argument, right? Let's just say I believed that, let's say I believed that the sky was purple. And I walked up to someone and said, hey, the sky is purple today. Did you know that? And they said, Funk, what are you going on about? What are you talking about? The sky is blue. I'm like, no, it's purple. It's definitely purple. And then they'll say, no, it's blue. See? And then they'll get the dictionary out and show me the definition of the color blue, and they'll give me some examples. And I would rather be correct in saying that it's blue than win an argument. Because what if you're wrong? Then you've just... If your claim is wrong, and the goal is to win an argument, and you win the argument, then you have just made a lie more powerful than the truth. And that is a very dangerous thing. Because when a lie becomes more powerful than the truth, then people believe the lie. And when people believe the lie, then they start building systems and making decisions based on a falsehood. And when that happens, then things really go downhill. Because if I base... Okay, here's an example. If I base my business off of purchase numbers that are not true, that are like... If, let's just say someone told me, oh, you're going to have 100 purchases in the next month, right? And then I go buy 100 items to sell, and I only end up making 10 purchases, then I based my decision off of a falsehood, and I paid for it. I've just wasted 90 purchases on things I'm not going to sell. And that's just one example. And that's an example of this in business, but there are examples of these everywhere. It's like it's actually annoying how much I see this, is people will base their claim off of faulty logic or just data that's just not true or heavily in dispute, and they won't even realize it. And that's a big problem, because if you can't realize you're wrong about something, then you can never forgive people for being wrong. And if you can never forgive people for being wrong, then they won't be able to forgive you for making a mistake. And this is one of the big reasons why cancel culture is a big thing. And I know I'm bringing cancel culture into this, but I'm just saying I really, truly believe that being correct is better than winning an argument. And that's I guess that's my point for this episode of the podcast. And I know this is just the first episode. I'm going really deep into it. I'm repeating myself a lot, and I'll get better at this. But I just wanted to make clear that I do believe that if I make a mistake, I want you to point it out to me so I can actually do research for myself and reevaluate my own beliefs. Because if I say something, unless otherwise specified, I have thought about it a lot. And I think it's a good thing to think about your own beliefs heavily. Even if it's something super simple, you need to think about it, because if you're wrong about something super simple, then you will build complex things on something that is not true. And I think having a deep understanding of your fundamental beliefs is important to understanding yourself. And when you understand yourself, you can understand how you think. Again, metacognition. And when you understand how you think, you can use your own thinking effectively and quickly, and you can understand more complex things. So, yeah, basically, my rules for logic: attack the argument, not the person. Don't fall into logical fallacies. Make sure your evidence is correct and cite evidence when you can. And the main one, and this is what I've been talking about all day, admit when you are wrong and consider that you are wrong about everything. Because if you never do that, then when you are wrong about something, then you won't be able to admit that you're wrong. And that is a big problem. So yeah, that's basically my opinion on how to make claims and structure claims. I really don't know what I'm going to be doing next week for my episode, but this was really fun. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. I hope you guys have fun listening to me. I would like to hear what you think in the comments below. if you enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe. It really shows that I'm doing a good job. If I'm not doing a good job, feel free to comment as well. Just be respectful. My goal is to do a good job of this, so if you guys have criticism for me, that's absolutely fine. I encourage criticism because then I'll never improve, So, yeah, thank you guys for spending 10 minutes of your day to listen to me, and I will see you all later. Thank you for listening.